Um, I'm going to do a pantry challenge slash shelf cooking for June. I've been kind of doing that the past three or so grocery hauls, extending my 2 weeks of groceries to 3 weeks. So I'm hoping to try and do that for the month of June, of just trying to use up the stuff in the house. Of stuff that I bought thinking I'd use it and it's just sitting there. Mainly those items or things that, you know, in the fridge you get the half jar of sauce that's still in there that is just sitting there. Try and use those things up and find creative ways of using them in recipes. My goal is to try and clean out at least one of my fridge freezers. So I'm gonna be accessing the big freezer, but moving stuff, space from there, clearing out the fridge freezers, so that hopefully by the end of June I'll have one, hopefully completely empty, so that I can fill that with things that we'll be using during the summertime, which will be like barbecue stuff, ice cream, popsicles, and stuff, and also make space for me making some freezer meals because I'm hoping to purchase meat that I'll just marinate and be able to just like throw it on the barbecue or to throw it in the oven when it's really hot or in the instant pot, because when it's hot I don't feel like cooking, and when I don't feel like cooking we end up sometimes ordering out, and that is not really cost effective. Hello, whoever just popped in here. I am just saying how I'm going to try and do pantry challenge slash shelf cooking. Um, I've done a pantry challenge last January, and that was quite an eye opener. Actually, that's what started me on YouTube. Was I was videoing what we ate from the freezers and fridge and stuff like that. Good morning. Hopefully everybody's bought a coffee and got a snack. I forgot to put that in the description today because we will be talking about food and things to um, to use up, and different ways. And if anybody else wants to join me, I know a few YouTubers were doing it this month, um, but I didn't find out till like this week that they were doing it. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that right now. I'm planning on doing groceries actually Wednesday. So the groceries that I do on Wednesday is not going to necessarily be stocked up, so I don't have to do groceries for the month of June. It'll be my normal groceries of what we have planned for the next 2 weeks, kind of extending that. And um, in June, I hope to keep my budget to like $50 a week, just to restock milk, cream, veggies, because Mummy needs cream. Mummy is out of cream right now. My coffee has evaporated milk in it. It's okay, but I'm not going to the store right now, so that's what I'm using. I might go to the store later on today just to pick up cream because I need my cream. That's the one thing that I will probably run to the store for. Everything else I can substitute, but and I can usually deal with the. I'll finish the can of milk in my coffee the rest of the day until it's done. But I need cream for tomorrow and for Wednesday. But this this pantry challenge shelf cooking, the object is to use the food in your house. So I've got lots of food because I buy for, you know, I do groceries twice a month, but I buy when it's on sale for 2 or 3 times of stuff for sales. So when I buy oatmeal, if it's on sale, I'll buy six. Those 6 things of oatmeal should last, if my family actually eats it as they were, at least 3 months, maybe even 6 months, because my family's not a big oatmeal person. Hey, Tom Tom. Yeah, busy chat here. Yeah, it's basically me chatting to myself. I was just explaining what I'm going to try and do, and hopefully other people will join in and support one another. Is to try and do a pantry challenge, a shelf cooking. My main goal is to use stuff in my freezer because my freezers are packed with stuff, and sometimes it's stuff that I want to use. Like I have a lot of bags with like different, like a ham bone to make a soup and stuff like that. So I'm going to actually make those soups. You know, I have a lot of like meats or partially cooked meals or leftovers. So that's what I'm going to do in June. Well, I'm going to do it also now, but um, that's what I'm going to try and do is get and eat as much of my freezer as possible so that at least one of my fridge freezers will be empty. So that I can fill it with summer stuff, like stuff for grilling and ice cream popsicles and stuff, because it gets really hot. Like right now it's hot. I just turned off the AC. I've had the AC on for the past 2 days. But today, inside, it's nice and cool. Outside, it's still hot. But, yeah. So that's my goal, is to eat the stuff in my house. There's a lot of things that I bought that um, I just haven't gotten to use. Because it was on sale or a new product. And it was something that would be interesting to my family, something similar to what we currently eat, but we just haven't gotten around to using it. So I'm going to be having, especially for June, but even for the next couple weeks till the beginning of June, some different meals and different meals in my meal plan. And my meal plan will definitely be flexible because of what's like. I honestly, I have no idea what's at the bottom of my big, huge freezer. I did clean it out last fall, as I took everything out and I did write it down what was there, but then I didn't keep up with that, and that was my fault because um, I'm a procrastinator, and but I have to go in and make sure that I go and take stuff out and reach down, not just use the stuff at the top, because that stuff I know it's there. Like I mean, I have ribs, I have pork roast, I have a roast beef, I have a whole chicken. So it's like I know those big items are there, and those will be used in the next 4 to 6 weeks because I want to use those up. But there's some stuff that's in there that I have no idea. And there's a few mystery meals because either the labels fell off or got worn off, or I forgot to label in the first place, thinking, oh, it's like leftovers. It's only going to be in here for a week or so, and I'll remember. Well, other things got put on top of it, and I don't remember. So there's going to be a few mystery meals, but what I'm hoping to do, and I hope other people will do, is to maybe take this as a challenge for yourself to clean out your fridge, freezer, pantry. Try and use up stuff that's in your cupboards that are, like, say, close to due date. Due dates don't really matter on most things except for baby formula and baby food. Everything else, like especially in Canada, all of those are voluntary due dates. So stuff in a can, they're actually made to be in a can for years and years past the due date, but that's their sell by date, or that's the date that they can guarantee freshness. Doesn't mean that it goes bad. I mean, um, even the local food cupboard here, um, says that the stuff that's donated, like they can still give out food, like canned food and dry food, a year past the due date. It's still fresh. It's still, and that's according to the government in Canada. Now fresh food is a different thing. Once it goes, you can tell it goes bad, right? But same with stuff in the freezer. Like I have stuff in the freezer that could be a couple of years old. You know, it might, depending on how it's packaged, there might be freezer burn. Freezer burnt, it doesn't mean it goes bad, it just means it changes texture and you have to kind of be creative or feed it to the dogs or whatever. We don't have dogs. But, or make it, use it for a soup stock, if it's not going to be, the texture's too off. But a lot of times, like the way that I package stuff, I'll either use my vacuum sealer, which like extends things for like literally almost forever. I have never, ever, ever, ever have had anything with freezer burnt when I've used my vacuum sealer. But I don't take my vacuum sealer out every time. I do when I plan to purchase a large portion of meat to put in the freezer for a long time. But usually I'm not always thinking that far ahead. So, but anything I've vacuum sealed has never gotten freezer burnt. Stuff that's been in Ziploc bags or in containers, sometimes the edges have gotten freezer burnt. And you just cut off those edges. It's not that it's bad, it's just the texture is off. But it's usually salvageable if you can throw it in a casserole, you know? So, before, what I'm trying to do for June, and probably the next 2 weeks too, um, is to try and use the stuff that's in my freezer. Try and inventory. That's the most important thing. Inventory what's in my freezers so that I can actually know exactly what's in there. So I don't keep on having to buy stuff that I think we're out of. Because it has happened to me, especially my pantry is pretty good the way I have it laid out. I'm not purchasing a whole bunch of canned goods that I thought we were out of because I've had it kind of like more visual. But my freezer and my fridge and stuff like that, I have to do a good inventory of that. And then I'm going to set myself with a budget of about $50 a week um, to be used to buy milk, eggs, bread, fresh fruit or veggies, or kids' snacks and stuff. Because my kids do like certain snacks better than others, and I want to make sure that they actually eat lunch. Um, but that's about it. I'm not going to I'm not going to necessarily use that money to stock up on something. Because I'm pretty stocked up right now on different things. I mean, and I hope to videotape it to give you guys um, a sea of, maybe it might inspire you to be creative on different foods of different ways to use things. And I have a lot of like sauces that you might not have at home, but they're taking up in my fridge. So I want to use them purposely in recipes. Like I have a different, like I think a souvlaki sauce, which is great for like pork souvlaki or chicken souvlaki and stuff. But I just have to like plan to use it because the jars of sauces are usually good for 2 meals. I'll open up the jar for one meal and then it just sits there because I don't plan a second meal in a timely fashion because my family doesn't like, well, sorry, my husband's not too big on having too many meals that are similar. So he likes to have like a week apart or 2 weeks apart, preferably, or once a month on certain meals. Some things that he's not as fond of, like he's not a big casserole person, unless it's like baked spaghetti, like pasta that he'll like. I like loaf. Listen, Missy from Santana. Hello, hi Missy. How's it going? You like low sodium? Well, so that's the thing. Is what I'm saying is like I'm going to try and use the stuff that's in my freezer and pantry and try and purposely find recipes or create recipes to use them because I've got lots of food and I'm going to do that starting June 1st. So I am doing groceries this Wednesday. It's actually, I think, the first groceries I'm doing in May because I did it at the end of April and I've extended my groceries 3 weeks. I'm so proud of myself. Um, Instead of my normal 2 weeks. But I did run out of cream today, so I'm using evaporated milk, which I am going to go to the store and get a thing of cream. because Mummy needs cream. It's like the only thing that. Yeah. Oh, don't put yourself down there, Missy. Um. Good morning, Amanda. Yes, we can. I'm sure a lot of us can um lose weight. I know I can. But that's not what I'm. Well, I'm not necessarily going to be playing that for my freezer from my pantry and shelf cooking. Um, but I'm going to try and research new recipes to try and use certain things up. So, like in my fridge, I have a lot of sauces that need to get used up, and I'll try and find recipes to use them. My freezer, I have some things that are identifiable that I either labeled properly or some mystery meals. So, but I'm hoping to eat up enough stuff from the freezers to empty one whole freezer, one whole fridge freezer. Exactly. Yes, our metabolism, because I'm over 40 myself, is much slower, and it doesn't have a lot to do even with exercise. Yes, well, I love not wasting as well. Um, your nickname Missy on YouTube, you should change it because it's it's not a nice name there, but people might think you're you're not that you're a troll or whatever with that kind of name. But I know you said you're Misty from San Antonio. Cut out carbs, yes. Well, see, well, yes, but carbs. See, this is the thing. I've done. I know it's a joke. If you're looking to lose weight, and I've done this before, and I've lost weight, and it was very successful. The only problem is getting the family on board. The hardest part is getting everybody on the same page because I don't have time to be doing two or three different meals each time. So one thing that has been successful and it's not really hard is the Trim Healthy Mama one, where it is low carb. Well, it's kind of like you eat carbs at one meal. Like you're supposed to eat every I think it's 4 hours. One meal and then, but not high carbs, but you can eat like oatmeal or whatever, but low fat. And then the other one is higher fat. You're supposed to also eat protein. That other one, so you can have the steak and the say lobster and garlic butter or whatever, but that's and vegetables, but not the potato or the fries. So and that has worked well for me in the past. But eating the e meals, which are the more carbs and low fat, is really hard for me, and just finding recipes that my family will enjoy. But it's not always very frugal. I make Yes, Amanda, but that's the thing is if you eat what I make, my husband will like screw this. I'll order out. You know, because he is the income earner, right? And he is my more pickiest person. Like, um, not like he'll eat stuff, but he doesn't like necessarily leftovers the next day, unless it's like a roast chicken or roast beef or whatever. Those leftovers he doesn't mind, but leftovers of a casserole or whatever, he's not too big on. But I repurpose them, and he doesn't like the same flavor profile multiple days in a row unless the first time was like really really good. I heard of that, the lady of our large tribe. Yes, I love the large tribe. So I've done it, like I did it like in 2012, and I easily lost 20 pounds within a couple months. Like more of like I slimmed down. So my weight, it was more of like I got smaller sizes. Um, like I got more compact. My weight, I think I lost about 20 pounds in total in a few months, but I went down like 3 or 4 sizes, um, which was good. but it was really hard to do in the wintertime. Yeah, so I ordered the ebook because here in Canada the shipping was as much as the book at the time, but now it's on Amazon. So it's oh, that's my husband's cell phone. He's home today. He's not feeling well. But it's like Christmas duck song. I oh fun. Yes, but Trim Healthy Mama, there's a lot of recipes online. So even if you don't order the book right away, you can find the recipes and try those recipes. The S recipes are satisfying, and they have fat and protein and vegetables and stuff. The E recipes are energizing, so they're the ones with more carbs, but not high carbs. Like you're gonna have some carbs, some lean protein, and vegetables that are not high carbs. Am I living rural? I live in the West End suburbs of Ottawa, so it's called Canada, and so they have huge. So one of the sisters has like a huge family, so a lot of their recipes can be frugal. Like especially when you buy the meats on sale, and their oatmeals and stuff can be. But I find the way that my family likes to eat. Well, Canada, it's beautiful here. Even though we have winter, and it sometimes lasts half a year, it's still beautiful. Um, so I find a lot of their recipes, like my family likes more ethnic cooking, so I'm trying to find their recipes and add different spices and stuff like that because some of their recipes, my family had found them being a bit bland, but one of the recipes that they did, I think it's you can find online, is like a cheeseburger casserole, um, and it's really good. But you have to make sure that you buy your ground beef when it's on sale, right? Because it's using a lot of ground beef in it, and curry's mixed. So what I'm trying to do, like for myself, is I found that worked losing weight, but was hard for me to maintain with my family, right? So I'm trying to go, like actually this summer I'm trying to do that a little bit for myself or do it part time. But also it's about portions and about like for me it's about having smaller portions, um, and moderately, everything in moderation. Like not to have a whole bunch and not to go back for seconds. You know, like I think that's the problem when something's really good. You want to go back for seconds, but then still have like cheat days or whatever. But I can probably with the summer and stuff I can increase my vegetable intake because we love salads, and they have some really nice um, salad options where you're putting like meat, like it's a whole meal and stuff. So I might try a few of those too. It's all about, yeah, I don't measure. If you look at any of my videos, my cooking videos, my Cook with Jen in Canada videos, you'll see I don't measure hardly anything. I get inspired by a recipe. I usually put the recipe below. And so for those who like to measure, and I kind of guesstimate. The only things that I found I should measure is baking because it's like science. Well, everything else you kind of like taste and see how it goes. Yes, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Like, so I use what I have. I do go and purchase stuff, but when I buy stuff, I take my grocery budget. I get maximum food for my amount of money. So my grocery budget honestly hasn't increased in at least 5 or 6 years, but the amount of food, like I use it to not just buy 2 weeks of food, even though I do go groceries every 2 weeks. I'm buying like probably about 3 or 4 weeks of food of certain things when things are on sale. Like I bought pasta back in the fall, when it was on for 88 cents since pasta sauce. I bought 12 for about 3 months. Well, that was back in the fall. I still have some pasta and some of the sauce because we haven't been eating pasta on a weekly basis as we used to do. Like my family's food change, food changes. Like we used to have pasta at least once a week. Well, lately it's been every week and a half, or they've been liking certain pastas. I don't have those shells, so I have to get different. Like if they've been liking the baked mac and cheese, right? So I don't have say macaroni. Well, I have to get another thing of macaroni. If I have lots of spaghetti, how many people in your family? So I live in Canada. I have four people in my family, two teenage girls, which eat just like teenage boys, and me and my husband. My grocery budget here in Canada, which includes cat food like toiletries, feminine products, all that stuff, is eight to $900 a month. So, and that includes food, um, cleaning supplies, laundry, um, toilet paper, feminine products, cat food, cat litter, all that. So that's what I'm saying. It's between 8 to 900. Sometimes it's under 8. Sometimes it's closer to 9. Sometimes it's a little bit more. It all kind of depends. If you look, I have some grocery hauls, and you can kind of see what I've done. And sometimes those grocery hauls are 2 weeks. Sometimes they're 3 weeks. In between, depending on my ride. So because I don't drive, neither does my husband. So, um, need to binge watch and catch up. Awesome. Well, and I hope maybe if you are interested and anybody else to do, I'm going to do a pantry challenge slash shelf cooking in June. So hopefully I'm going to try and do videos and maybe do like a week of what we ate from the freezer and pantry, or do it daily. I haven't quite figured that out. I have a family of three, my two teens and myself. Yes. I do have videos of what my kids eat for lunches, which I still have to upload bunch. Lately, I've been trying to do live streams when I haven't uploaded a video for a while, just because I had computer problems and hadn't been uploading videos. So, but I still have all these videos. There's lots of cooking. I got an Instant Pot for Christmas, so there's a lot of Instant Pot recipes. Oh my god, ribs in the Instant Pot. Yum. And also, always my videos usually has something to do with food, whether it's meal planning, whether it's grocery hauls and what budget, like how I save money, um, cooking, eating. But yeah, that's kind of like I find saving money. Like here, we can still price match at Superstore, Walmart, and Freshco. So I go to those grocery stores and I'll price match, and then that way I don't have to go. Well, I still go to the other stores because they don't always have everything that I want at the stores. And here, yes, so groceries. So everybody says that groceries are expensive in Canada, which is true. If you only shop at one store, if you only shop at one store, you are going to get screwed. Because you can go to that one store, and you might get the things on sale, but then everything else is more expensive. So we have a couple grocery stores here that are kind of more of a discount. Like there's a head store. They're owned, and there's like a more of a head store, and then a more of a discount store where they kind of might get like they have the same name store brand. So there's a store brand here called Selection, which you can get at um, Food Basics, but it's also at Metro, which is the more expensive store. I very rarely shop at Metro. It's farther to get to. If anything's on sale at Metro, I'll go there or I'll price match. But I won't buy anything else there. It's so expensive, like the vegetables and stuff. That's why if I do anything, I shop the sales for one, because I can any of the stores I can find what I want to eat on sale somewhere. I wish we had an Aldi here. We don't have an Aldi here in Canada, but there is an Aldi about an hour and a half away from me over in the States in Ogdensburg. For the missionary work, and I've been getting some of that. Yeah, I've heard Trader Joe's is good. They haven't. We have a store similar to that here called Farm Boy, where their concept is that they purchase food from local farmers. But they don't sell anything that is not food. So they don't sell toilet paper. They don't sell like cleaning supplies or anything. Yes, I shop more. Spend about $300 a month. Well, that's pretty good too. And food I've been getting that's from Joe has been really stretching my. Well, exactly. So this is some of my live streams. I talk about stretching your food dollar, repurposing leftovers into something completely different. The what I usually do to stretch our food dollar is, which I haven't done, honestly, I haven't done since like February, March, is to make a soup once a week. My family got souped out because a couple times we made like soup twice a week. Taking whatever leftover meat, vegetable, whatever that would go together, pasta that's left in your fridge, throwing in the soup, making a soup stock with bones leftover, cut up like the ends of the veggies, bones, throw it in a pot with water, make your own soup stock. Saves money. And I can do soup in the summer, so what I have to do now before it gets too hot is to make soup in individual portions and throw it in the freezer. My son loves split pea soup from ham bone and honey baked ham. Then we have it buy one get one free. So yes, and same with ham. So I was talking about doing freezer, pantry, shelf cooking. I have a bag in my freezer that says a ham bone. I'm like, great. I want to do that too. So I must have this was about January, maybe December. Had a ham, so we have ham supper. So my family liked that ham and probably scalloped potatoes. Leftover ham. We use leftover ham, baked mac and cheese, Bahamian baked mac and cheese. I have a recipe for that. My family absolutely loves that. They want me to just feed them that. Like I could feed them that probably every day, but that's not really healthy. And then the bone, use the bone to make ham stock, make a bean soup, either ham and bean soup, or split pea soup, or um, a ham vegetable potato soup. I haven't, but with those, I have to make a soup, and then I'll freeze it in containers, or I'll make the soup and I'll pressure can it in the jars and put them on the shelf. Because we'll eat soup during the summertime, but we'll just microwave it. The whole boiling it on the stove, we try not to do that because we don't like it hot in the house. Get ready for work, but I don't want. Hey, Southern Bell Gaming, how's it going? 8:30 in San Antonio in the morning. I got to get to work. Well, thank you for popping in, Missy from San Antonio. Um, I really appreciate it, and please check out my channel too. The videos for cooking, and maybe uh, you will be on trying to do some shelf cooking too, and maybe you'll be inspired by some of the recipes and stuff that I'm doing. What I'll try and do is I'll do one of what we ate, and then maybe if I'm actually making a recipe, separate videos for the recipe. I'm thinking I'm going to do like a vlog of a what we ate that week, each week, so that can give you ideas of how much food we're actually eating from the fridge and freezer and pantry. Hey, Southern Cell Bell Gaming. We were just talking about doing pantry challenge slash shelf cooking and saving money. Um, Also, I found that well, so if you buy chicken breasts and you feed your family like a chicken breast each, that's a lot of meat. But if you do it like half a chicken breast, they don't really notice too much. But also, having it as a meat, vegetable, potato is you use more expensive ingredients that way than doing it in a casserole because you could take probably about two chicken breasts and make a whole casserole of something, either with rice or pasta or whatever, and stretch it further. Because I mean, in any grocery, no matter where you live in the world, meat and vegetables are your two most expensive ingredients. Um, and people say in Canada we have expensive food compared to what you have in the States. That is true for the most part. If you go to one store, yes, you will find that your grocery bill will be expensive. I don't shop just at one store. I shop the sales at the stores that have them, or I price match them. I only buy stuff when it's on sale unless it's a dire need or something that my husband really wants me to get. A store called Sprouts here, and their produce. Well, exactly. We have a store here called Farm Boy, and their concept is that they're not trying to go into the online sales or anything like that. Their concept is they have excellent, like their produce is top line. Even their markdown produce is about the comparison of what the other grocery stores sell as their normal stuff. Like it's not really bruised. It's kind of like just starting to they'll package up and mark it down for like half the price, right? So I always shop those markdown shelves. They have like a deli counter, and their thing is about they sell already cooked foods. So and you pay by the gram or whatever. They do a lot of that, for convenience and stuff like that. But their meat, they have a butcher section, they have a bakery section. All they sell is food. There's no toilet paper, no cleaning supplies, no nothing in that store. But their goal is just so I do shop there on occasion if there's stuff on sale, or I just want to walk through the store, check out their marked down veggies and stuff like that. Because they're marked down veggies, I can get like a package of tomatoes for like $2. Well, they're not like moldy. Like their marked down stuff is not moldy. It might be if there's thing of apples or mixed fruit, like there'll be apples, orange, pears. There might be a couple little dings. You're going to get that at the grocery store. They had cucumbers for $3 for $1. Same with bell peppers, even the colored ones. Ooh, awesome! That's a great deal. What am I doing today? Well, today I'm going to be doing cleaning and cooking for supper. But I was talking about on here what I'm planning on doing starting June 1st, or probably like I'm doing groceries on Wednesday, which is actually going to be the first time in May that I'm actually doing groceries. Actually, probably the only time in May. They have the markdown stuff because they have a new shipment. Yes. Hey, Mark. So what I was talking about shelf cooking slash pantry cooking, um, pantry challenge. I'm hoping to eat out of my freezer for the month of June to try and empty at least one of my fridge freezers, so I could put things like for stuff for the barbecue or ice cream or popsicles and stuff. Because right now I have no room for that. Like I buy ice cream like when I do groceries sometimes, and I barely can fit in there. So since it's hot, that's about. We don't do desserts often, but we do like ice cream as a dessert, like a couple times a week, maybe. You know, on the most. But we don't really do desserts except for special occasions. But that's my goal, and also to use some stuff because I found like I'm finding some things that I bought that were on sale, and I paid the cheapest amounts, but we haven't been using them, right? Because maybe I bought them, like say for example in the fall, we were eating lots of pasta, we were eating lots of baked spaghettis, and my husband loved them. We were having them about once a week, once every 2 weeks. So when pasta and sauce was on sale for 88 cents a package, so 900 grams, so that's 2 pounds of pasta for 88 cents, and a jar of sauce, I bought 12, which is not much. Well, we still have at least 6 jars of pasta sauce and at least 6 things of spaghetti. So I have to make spaghetti. I love the way I say, yes, pasta and tacos instead of pasta. Well, that's the other thing. I have 2 taco kits that have $5 off coupons to purchase. If I bought a taco kit and a salsa, I get $5 off of fresh produce. So I have 2 taco kits that have $5 off coupons. So I'm hoping. So in the next 6 weeks, we are going to have tacos. We are going to have spaghetti. because that is what we're going to. But I have to have the complementary ingredients to go with it. Like in my freezer, I know I have 2 Ziploc bags of already cooked ground beef, which I cooked the ground beef. I put veggies, whole bunch of veggies, in my food processor, chopped them up small. That's the that's the trick. Cooked it with the meat, so it kind of stretches your meat. So it's like almost half veggie, half meat, or 3/4 meat, a quarter veggie. You know, and I use that, and then but I don't really. I season it with salt, pepper, garlic because I do that with all my meat. But then I can take that meat. It could be taco meat. It could be enchilada meat. It could be spaghetti. It could be a hamburger casserole. But nobody will notice the difference because of the veggies that are in it. Because my family is not big on certain veggies. See, my kids are not too big on certain veggies. My husband's not big on different veggies. So if I chop them all small, nobody knows the difference. And that's kind of what I need to do is I need to use what we have so that I can make room to buy more. You know? Yes, I cook it like regular, and I let it cool, and I put it in Ziploc bags, and I've been no, well, no, see, I don't drain the grease because I always buy lean ground beef. So the little bit of grease that's in there, when I take it out of the bag, it'll re-fry up. Like there's not a lot of grease. So the lean ground beef and extra lean ground beef. So here in Canada, we have regular or medium, lean, and extra lean. So extra lean is the highest. That's probably what your 90 something 7 or whatever, 93 7 or whatever. But I always do lean because usually I can find lean ground beef on sale. Extra lean is harder to find on sale. If I can find on sale, I'll do that because we don't need the grease, right? I very rarely buy medium or regular ground beef. Well, not on purpose. I've done it a couple times without looking at the label and oh look at I'm just looking at the price. I bought them and I'm like, why is there so much grease? If there was so much grease, then I would drain it, but then you don't have as much meat. So I find paying, like I don't pay more than I always buy ground beef, $3 a pound or less. I'll maybe go up to $4 a pound when if I've seen many weeks where it's not been under $3 a pound, I might pick up one package because still it's cheaper than all the other meats. Chicken I can usually get cheaper, but not boneless, skinless, which my husband, or well, actually my husband likes boneless, skinless thighs, or we'd love it if we could have boneless but skin on thighs, but we haven't seen that. We used to be able to see that. They tend to take both off, and I'm fine with that because most of the things we do with those type of things is we do like stir fries or that type of chopped up chicken and vegetables and either like Asian inspired dishes or thrown in soups and stuff like that. Um, what else? And pork is usually cheap here. Well, pork goes on sale regularly. Pork every other day is not cheap, but when it's on sale, it goes on sale for like under $2 a pound. So like a big pork roast, sometimes even like I can get for under $1 a pound. So that's why I'm saying like people think that prices in Canada are expensive. They are, okay. But if you have a variety of grocery stores that you can price match or shop at them, then that you can get the good prices. What really is hard is when you live in a smaller town and your local grocery store is not a discount type grocery store. Like it's not any discount like you have in the States a lot of these discount grocery stores where it's like the Amish bang and dent grocery stores. We don't have a lot of those up here. We have some in southern Ontario where there's an Amish community, but where I am, there's not anything like that. Most grocery stores will have a clearance aisle, like a shelf, of either maybe banged up cans or stuff that's close to expiration date or whatever they'll mark down. But that's about it. And our dollar stores don't have fresh or frozen food in them except for bread. Um, and then even then it's usually about $2. Um, they do have some food items. Like I do buy some food items from our local dollar stores because sometimes it's actually cheaper than the grocery stores, but sometimes it's not. Like canned veggies, I do when they have their canned peas on sale there for two for $1. I cannot get canned veggies here for under 79 cents. Is the cheapest I've seen it in years. So when they're two for $1 at the dollar store, I'll buy them. But what hurts people and why people um, think that it's so expensive here in Canada for food is if you don't have access to a vehicle or don't have access to a ride to go to the grocery store, and you can only go to the closest grocery store, then buying all your groceries at one store makes it really expensive. Well, that's the no name brand. Like so, I can get 79 cents a can. Our cans, uh, but that's why I like to try and can my own. or, but but frozen vegetables, I can get a kilogram of like frozen peas for like $2. So that's like 2 and a bit pounds. Yes, well, our minimum wage just went up January 1st, but I'm just saying these are normal prices from what we've had even for the past, 5 or 6 years. Um, it it was um, our minimum wage now is $14 an hour, but it was $11 an hour. But even at $14 an hour, it's still not a living wage because, like, yes, our groceries are higher if you only shop at one store, but that's why you use the Flip app, FLIPP. It looks at the stores in your area within a certain distance, and you type in chicken, and you can find chicken. You might not find boneless, skinless chicken breast, but I can find chicken. I bought like whole chickens for $1.88 a pound. I don't know about you, but I bought chicken quarters on Thursday for my husband's birthday. I made fried chicken. I got halal chicken quarters for $1.59 a pound. I just cut them into legs and thighs, like drumsticks and thighs, which wasn't that hard to do. I paid $1.59 a pound. Ours is $7.85 an hour. But also, how much is your rent or your mortgage? Here, you can't get. Let's say you can get a one-bedroom apartment in a decent neighborhood for about nine. Well, not even a decent. In a not in a not decent neighborhood. So not in a decent neighborhood. A one-bedroom, you're paying $1,000. Um, minimum. One bedroom in a around the corner from a project or whatever, or older buildings. Okay, older buildings. So these buildings do not have amenities, like, well, other than a laundry room. Okay, that's the amenity. Is there's a laundry room where you have to pay $2 to wash and $2 to dry. Okay, maybe $1.50, but it's usually about $2. Not cheap. You're paying maybe 900. Well, exactly. Well, same thing here. So if you're on minimum wage, you can't you can't. So like a townhouse. So um, a townhouse here, like a three-bedroom townhouse. 2 3 bedroom rental, depending on how old it is and where it's located, you might be able to get for $1,200 to $1,300 a month. Doesn't include utilities. You might get for a little bit less. Doesn't include utilities or anything like that. Or the nicer, the newer townhouses, like my townhouse, if I was renting it, I could easily get 1650 to rent this place because it's a bigger townhouse. You know, not including utilities or anything like that. You know, there are some that are kind of like co-ops. So here in Ottawa, we have a project which is low income housing, where people who are usually like on welfare, or they'll have rent geared to income, or if they're working minimum wage jobs and stuff like that, they might have rent geared to income. So if their income is higher, their rent goes higher to the standard rate for that unit. You know, so if they're doing well, there's co-ops here that you can apply to go on. There's long waiting lists, so there's like fun, and they're really nice. So the co-ops are like, you don't necessarily want to always live in the lower income housing that are run by the city, because that's also where crime or poverty or people drop out of school, so they don't usually finish high school and stuff. So they're kind of like a perpetually only being able to work minimum wage jobs. So they can't really get out of it, right? And people don't necessarily care about their properties as much because other people don't care about, or they might wreck them or whatever. So it's projects, but it's not. Our projects are not like American projects. Our projects are still nicer than I've seen some in the States, and I'm like, ugh, you know, like, yes, we do sometimes have some scummy landlords and stuff, but we have laws that people will fight for them, and you know, you only get they get away with it for a short period of time. Then they have to bring everything up to code. But we have co-ops here that are run through the city or the province. I'm not sure. Basically, it's rent geared to income, but everybody has to be part of the co-op. Um, they have to be part of the board or wherever they have. They're everybody has a job to maintain the property. So you either have to donate so many hours to like cutting the lawns or beautifying the places or painting the fence or whatever the jobs are, so many hours a year to be, helping. And your rent is geared to income. So if you are on disability, your rent is, a couple $100s, right? But if you're working full time, two people working full time, your rent might be $1,000, right? Sorry, have had to take a phone. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, our projects aren't good, but they're like, I can walk through the projects and not feel scared. At night, it's kind of sketchy. And if I see a group of people, whether it doesn't matter what color of skin they're, a group of teenagers that look like they're up to no good on one side of the street and they're on my side of the street, I will cross the street. Doesn't matter. Because I'm like, yeah, I don't need to walk by them if, you know, I used to live in the projects. I used to live near the projects, you know, um, where the police were always seen driving by because there was usually some sort of illegal activity going on, right? It was, but when you only have so much money, those are the only places you can rent, right? And my mom purposely only lived there for as long as she needed to make sure she had enough money to rent somewhere else. Not that it was much better, but it was out of the projects in someone else, like a back of someone's house that they split in half. So it was like the back of someone's house. So we moved out of the projects for that, and then she got into a co-op, rent guaranteed income, when she did end up going on disability because of her cancer. So So she had an apartment in like not the projects, but it was like a lot of the people. There were some units people were on welfare, and some units people were paying full price. But it was run by Minto, so it was run by a company, not by the city. So it was much better. Like, and if you screwed up, if you caused trouble, you're out of there, no matter what, you know. But I lived there with my kids. I actually at Bayshore, but but they had moved a lot of the. Um, there were still some people that were on welfare there, but the ones that were on welfare, they were the ones that took care of their properties and tried to make life better. So there's a lot of still lower income, like people, a lot of people that worked there, that lived there, worked at like McDonald's or Tim Hortons or whatever. They worked at these minimum wage jobs because that's what they could get, you know. But they weren't the ones that were just sitting at home waiting for a check and drinking beer, you know, and causing a ruckus. So, um, but there's not, you know, I've lived those places, um, and there there's always an eclectic group of people that live there, you know. But yeah, our projects, even though they're not, we some projects, there's a couple that I would not want to walk in at night just because they're more violent. Like you just hear, oh, there's the cops are going to this place. Oh, hello, princess. Princess has come to say hello. Here, get off the computer. Oh, where did you go on the computer? Okay, you went to advertising. I don't want to go to advertising. You're gonna. You have to, oh, you got another knot here. We have to cut out a knot. Erg. She gets knots right at her collar area, which if we don't have a collar on, I'm just trying to cut a knot. Cut. Okay, you're gonna fall. But she's old, so we sometimes have to help a knot. Sometimes have to help the knot. Chunk. There you go. Kitty cat. Yes. Oh, there's another little knot. I'm not cutting close to her skin because I don't want to accidentally hurt her. But she's got a few knots that she just can't get to. Well, exactly. Well, and also, like, so what boggles my mind is the fact that you guys have to pay at a hospital to give birth. And you have to pay something like $10,000 or so. How do people afford that? And how come when we're seeing news, we're seeing, like, if we're seeing the projects, right? We're seeing people, low income families, and they have like multiple children. How can they afford to give birth to these children if they're in low income families? because I follow a few um, big families, and they're not low income families, but and they were saying that um, that their hospital bill for their last child was something like $10,000, but if they paid cash, it was only six or something like that. And I'm like, what? Here in Canada, like if you have no insurance whatsoever, you go to the hospital, you give birth, you don't get a bill, unless you asked for a semi-private room or a private room. You would be in a ward of 4 beds unless the hospital had no more spaces. Then they would put you in a semi-private room, but at their cost, not your cost, right? Um, and some hospitals, like I believe the Queensway Carleton Hospital, has um, their birthing rooms, like their birthing, are only semi-private or private. They don't have ward ones. So if you have no insurance, you're getting a room with another person, possibly one by yourself, depending on how busy it is. But how do they afford the actual medical bills? Like, God forbid you actually get sick. Like, I had a friend in the States, her daughter got cancer. Okay, the medical bills for that went so high up that she had to sell her house. She was at least able to sell her house, that it didn't get foreclosed. But she was able to sell her house, and she used that money to rent a small apartment and then pay the medical bills. And she still had to declare bankruptcy afterwards. You don't. America is an extreme debt. Well, so but how like I mean, we see these reality shows or whatever, or these you know things on the news or on talk shows or whatever, right? A woman whose husband, well, who maybe say doesn't have a husband, but has had 5 or 6 kids from various different partners. None of them probably paying child support. How do they a give birth? And if they have a medical bill, don't they come after you to pay it? Or if you're low income, do you get a special deal? Yeah, but if you're on welfare, so if you're dirt poor, you can you can go to the hospital and med. So yeah, so we have, but don't you have to still pay for that? Medicare and Medicaid are for poor slash old folks. Yeah, but don't you have to pay for that? Sure, but I don't think you do if you're income. Huh. But I know that on Medicare and Medicaid, there's problems that they don't cover all of the meds that you need. Like, sometimes don't cover diabetic meds, some diabetic meds, or some cancer meds and stuff. So if you get cancer, you have to pay certain ones out of your pocket, which is like, so here are would cover, like if you're poor, so medication isn't covered by Ontario or Canada, but there's a program called Trillium that you can sign up for, and it would cover all of your meds, 80 or like if you don't have private insurance, 80 or 100%, depending on what they are. There are a certain few meds, like certain cancer meds, that are like just new, and they're like um, anti something, but they're like $2,000, like a pill type of thing. Those ones aren't covered by those programs. By your private insurance, it would be covered like 80%, I think. just like all other meds. But if you don't have insurance, you have to raise the money for that yourself. But they're right now they're trying to fight that to be put into the other meds that should be part of the course of treatment, like chemo and radiation. So chemo, radiation, and certain other ones, but it's just brand new, like just approved for treatment. I just know that a friend of mine had to get had to use that, and she used her own money. Yeah. Um. Yeah, we have our downtown area. We have a bunch of like homeless people, and actually we have like three or four. Okay, there's the Mission, which is a men's uh, shelter. There's Salvation Army one, where there's a shelter, men and women, I think. There's Saint not Saint Vincent de Paul. No, Saint Joe, not Saint Joe's. Saint um another one, Saint something. There's a shelter there, but those are what there's three shelters that I know of, and then there's like a women's shelter in various different spots. There's about three or four in the city for abused women. Um, but and then there's a whole bunch like downtown, like there's St. Joe's Secretary where my daughter does choir. They offer a hot meal at supper, maybe at lunchtime too. I don't know. I know at supper time, at least during the week, if not on the weekend too. Um, the mission offers a hot meal for those who are there, staying, but also for other ones to come. Salvation Army does, and this other church does too. And I'm like, wow, that one does. The one other church, I'm trying to remember what it's Saint. It's not Saint Vincent de Paul. Saint Shepherds. Sorry, Shepherds of Good Hope. They offer a lunch and a supper. The houses look like shacks you'd see in a third world country. Wow. See, and people own those, or do they rent them? So our projects don't look that bad, because they're owned by an organization. There's a Walmart by where I work. It's a nice area, and always lets this host lady take a nap inside when it's hot cold. Hey, good morning, puppy's breath. Um, yeah. So we have homeless. So and we even have a couple of homeless that come out to Canada, which is kind of odd because we're the suburbs. Like, there's one homeless guy. We know he's homeless. Uh, he doesn't really beg for money though. People do go and give him some money, but he'll go to Tim Hortons and he'll sit there. He'll get a coffee or whatever. I don't know if he pays for it, but he'll get a coffee and he'll sit there. But we know that he's homeless because he has a tent in at the edge of one of the fields that somebody followed him and brought him food and stuff like that. But he has mental he hears voices. But that's the thing is most of our homeless people here have mental illness, or they are part of a marginalized group of people, like those that have been kicked out of their homes because of the LGBTQ. To there's a few other letters, that they've been kicked out of their homes. So it's awful. You know, um, what I do, because when we go downtown, I usually bring some granola bars, and if I see a homeless, instead of giving them money, because I know a lot of them are addicts, drinking alcohol, whatever. Instead of giving them money, I will give them a granola bar, or if like sometimes they'll say I'm hungry sign or whatever, I will offer to buy them food. Like if I'm like near Tim Hortons or McDonald's, I'll buy them like a burger or whatever. Um, I've had people reject that, and I'm like, your sign says you're hungry. I'm offering to buy you food. If you come with me, I'll get you some food. So I know it's not what they want. Search for houses, Kansas, Missouri. Then flip it from the highest price to the lowest. Wow. Yeah, so we don't have falling apart houses really here because the city would find them. Well, if like the projects are run by the city, like they're owned, the housing is owned by the city. Um, it's not people owning their own homes. We do have some towns out in the country where the houses are owned by people, and it's kind of a little bit debilitated. Like there's a lot of like do-it-yourself fixing up. Some of them up for $10,000 to $20,000. Wow. Yeah, you can't do that here. So that's what people have done is that they bought these cheap houses and just live in them. I guess it's probably cheaper than rent. See here in Canada, if something's not habitable, like if it's reported to, I don't know who you report to, they shut it down. Like we've had a few people like who tried like squatters in like buildings that have been shut down or whatever. We still have rural urban mix in central parts. Yes. Yeah, we do too. We have urban and we have rural, which is country. Um, and then even in the country, there's towns where most towns will have a grocery. Like I would consider a town would be like a grocery store, gas station, possibly a school. Because a lot of times, a lot of the smaller towns they bus the kids to one school. But I find more like if you walk by the projects, the housing structure is sound. They might have broken stuff in their front yard or in their driveway or whatever, like a beat up car or something like that, or maybe garbage or whatever. Um, but in the country is where you'd find more houses that need repair. Because when it's in the city, if it's not being maintained, they might shut it down or something. Ooh, sorry. Yawning. Hey, Angel. How's it going? Good morning. Oh, my day yesterday was good. We, um, my daughter made me a cast iron pot holder. She saw my video yesterday, and she made me some chocolate. Um, they were made in my Christmas tree cookie, chocolate molds, because that's what I have. Um, and then I went to the concert, which was beautiful. It was very well done. I'm gonna be. I got it on here. I gotta put it and edit it today and stuff. And then we went out for supper. One of our favorite places. So a few years ago, there's this place called Hung Sum in Chinatown. They make the dim sum fresh on like fresh to order, right? They had a small place that was like maybe 8 tables a couple years ago, and then they closed because somebody was buying the building, and it took them 2 years to find a different from another spot. Well, now it's been, I guess, about 6 months. They said they opened, and I loved that. So we went there. The best dim sum in all of Chinatown, freshly made, not necessarily cheap. So it was not a frugal thing, but their dim sum was between $3 and $5 for 3 or 4 pieces. Um, and but it was really good, and loved it. Um, but we hadn't seen them for a while, and we were just so happy to find them. Now the service was not quick, um, because they're making it. They need more staff. They need. I'm guessing that there was one, maybe two cooks in the back, and there was only one server. He was running his butt off, and he was doing a great job. So we gave him a good tip, even though the meal took about 2 hours to have everything come out, but everything came out hot, like burning our mouth hot because we're like nom nom nom, and everything was good. Like there was nothing like we didn't like. So we were very impressed. I did a Google review and said, I'm like, okay, place great. There's like 3 times the amount of tables now, so that's the good part. But a little bit slow. And the only problem is that they only took, well, not problem. They only take cash or debit. We never carry cash. Okay, like never. And so we, my husband uses his debit card, but that's not so much of an issue. We usually have a credit card. We tend to like the credit cards because if there's ever any problems and discrepancy, the credit card companies are usually pretty good. And also, Jeff gets, for different ones, he gets different points for different things. So, wow, I'm looking at that link. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, $6,000. Heating, no data. Year built, no data. Convenient location for a rebuild. House has had fire damage. Sits on a nice lot on a hill. So basically, you're just buying the land, but you have no idea. Wow. So the window's boarded up. There's no balcony for the door that opens up to the outside. Wow. Well, I don't have any credit cards. I have my husband's one. Hole, hole with a window. Yeah, I I have impulse buying things. So I don't have a credit card. I have my husband's one for to use for dentist and things. If I need, like medical stuff, buy prescriptions and dentist. Wow. Just cooked is awesome. Sometimes the plates are sitting around. Well, yes, they cook them so fresh, like they're steaming, they are hot, um, and everything tastes like perfection. Like we go to a local place here called Fusion. They have all you can eat dim sum and sushi and also some dishes. So we like going there. Their food is good. It is and the stuff comes out hot, and that their all you can eat lunch price is reasonable. Their dinner price is a bit more expensive. I think it's like $30 a person, while their lunch price is about 20, just under 20. $20 a person, depending on the day of the week, which is reasonable for all you can eat. 30 is a bit on pushing it. So it's cheaper. We would cheaper to go there, and it's closer. But and they have a bit more variety of other things that we like. Because my oldest doesn't do seafood. So at this Hung Sum, there was about 6 dishes that we tried that she ate and liked. Um, that weren't shrimp, but we like the shrimp. So my other daughter and my husband and I like the shrimp. So the dishes, the problem with dim sum is that they add up. So you have to kind of, $3 here, $5 here, $4 here. It adds up. Frosties are 50 cents. We don't get anything 50 cents. We sometimes get Frosties for 99 cents. My head is itchy. I put my hair in a braid today because it was all. I had my hair in a braid yesterday, and it's all like because I brushed it, so it went straight, and then it's all frizzy. So I think I'm putting in a braid. I'll wash it tonight, and then I'll be back to curly tomorrow. But 50-cent Frosties. We don't get anything here for 50 cents. Again, that's another thing. Like our fast food here, you can't get a combo, like a Big Mac combo or any fast food restaurant. You're paying $10 for a burger, fry, a drink anywhere. They might have some snack. They've now selling things as snack things, like a snack wrap or whatever, where there's just a little bit of meat and so for like $3. But you can't. It can be expensive. Our frosties are $1.09. So yeah, ours is I think $1.59 or $1.69. Then they sometimes go on for 99 cents. No, we don't have a dollar menu. We have a cheaper menu, or what they have a tiny, what I guess what you would consider a dollar menu, but everything's about $2. So like the cheeseburger, well, a hamburger is I think $1.59. A hamburger is I think $1.59, and I think a cheeseburger is $1.89. So everything's like $1.89 to $2.19. I think a small fry is like $2. Well, yes, so it's double of your minimum wage. So we again, um, so let me just look here. I don't know. I don't. So the things that are on the cheap menu, you'd have to buy a lot of them to be full to get any type of fullness. Um, and it's just easier. My family will eat a Big Mac combo. McDonald's menu Canada. Let me see. Snacks inside. No, no. Go back here. Prices. Okay, let's look. Oh, somebody took pictures of the menus. Let's see what's this. didn't work. Just keeps on bringing me to. Let's go back. Yeah, so we have a value picks menu. So a muffin and coffee is $1.99. A cookie and a coffee is $1.79. Sausage McMuffin is $1.69. Junior chicken is $1.79. A McDouble is $1.79. Bacon McDouble is $2.29. Small fry $1.49. Two apple pies $1.49. Vanilla cone $1.49. Soft drinks. In the summer we have dollar days, so any size soft drink is $1. But so a small is usually the small is $1, and the large or supersized one, which is like huge, it's usually like $2.29 or $2.50. But the prices varies for McDonald's. That's about how it is now. It's all going up. Fries are expensive at McDonald's, but they, yes, but fries are only good at McDonald's at getting hot. So whenever I order McDonald's, which is not very often, I eat my fries first because cold fries at McDonald's, like hot fries from McDonald's, are awesome. Cold fries at McDonald's are gross. Like I usually like a Big Mac or a double Big Mac because I just like the Big Mac sauce. And I've tried their other, and I do like their fish sandwich. So when we do get coupons, it's like buy one get one free or whatever, or two can dine for $11.99 or whatever. We'll use those. But we don't. We go to McDonald's. We would go to McDonald's if we went to the big park around here. There's a McDonald's over there. Grab McDonald's, go to the park. Or if we go to McDonald's if we're downtown, if we're doing some sort of event, like if we did the Tulip Festival and we're trying to look for some place to eat, go McDonald's. We know we're going to pay about $40 to $50. Well, we're going to pay $50 to eat, but we'll at least have enough food in our bellies to keep us full until we get home. Because anywhere else, if we go to a restaurant for a burger and fries, we're paying $15 at a sit down restaurant minimum. If you get a sandwich and fries, like like a club sandwich and fries. So that's what I was saying, like so that's why we like doing all you can eat. Well, yeah, forget about the plus tip. Like that's the price, $15 plus tax. So you have to add 13% on that plus tip. So yeah, it adds up. So going out is not cheap. So that's why we like going to places that we know what the price is if it's all you can eat. So if we're paying $20 a person, all you can eat, $80. Okay, we know. And that usually those places like Fusion includes your drink. So I think lunchtime is $16.99 or $19.99 depending on the day. At lunchtime, and then supper time, it's either $24.99 or $29.99. But we don't do supper time that often, even though if we did supper time, we can get stamps on our card. It just doesn't add up, where you get one free supper. Can we see the family pic on your wall? Where are you all dressed up? Okay, that one. Yes, we were on a cruise. I guess 5 years ago. Here, I'm gonna try. And there we go. Ah, yeah, that's my hubby, my oldest, my youngest. When they were shorter than me. So that was our yes. And then my husband, one year for Christmas, I got these pictures done. So I chose that one of the girls. We got family pictures done 1 year, and um, on canvas for a Christmas present. So we got that's pretty much the only pictures really on our wall. That and dolphins you saw behind me. Yes. Well, I think we need to get another one. So I think when we go on vacation this year, we will try and get a good picture of us all in no problem of us all in the picture, which is hard to do because I'm usually behind the camera. So I get usually got lots of pictures of kids, not so much a lot from of Jeff and hardly any from me, or it's like a kind of a selfie type picture. Oh, you want to see it? So on my background on the TV, I'll show you. There's Rowan when she was a baby. It's on the TV. See? That's my background. my TV turns. That's me 17 years ago. And Rowan as a baby. She had a big head. Big forehead. She grew into her head. Offer to take pictures of people if you see. Yes. Well, that's why I liked certain vacations. Like when we did the cruise, there were certain nights that was fancy dress up nights, and then they had spots, various spots, like that's a background or whatever um, that they had that you could get your pictures done, and then you paid for the picture, which was like $20, but you're all dressed up, you may as well. And then once, like when we've gone to Disney once, we prepaid the photo pass so that we could just we got actually pictures of us whenever we were wherever we were. We asked them, we gave them our little card or whatever it was, and they took pictures and they put our number on them. So at the end we had all these digital photos because we're not big on like the real photos, like the printout of them. We just like the digital. Um, but we didn't. Yeah. So this time I think we have to just do some more family photos. Because my girls, I mean, next year technically my oldest could be graduating and be going off to college or university, whether she goes locally. Like, so we're lucky here in Canada, in Ottawa. We have Algonquin College, which is huge. We have Ottawa University and Carleton University. Both are huge. We have Herzig College, which is more of like a healthcare one, where it's not a huge college campus. It's like a couple of buildings where and offices, like kind of boardrooms. Like okay, you're there and you take the courses, and then you go to another room. And you take a different course. So it's more moving around within a building, not so much of a college campus. Um, so my kids might not necessarily travel outside of Ottawa for school because it's more expensive for sure to go to school outside of the area, especially living on campus or living off campus, like your food card, all that stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, if they went there, they still live at home. Um, Again, both college, like the college would be about 40-minute bus ride, half an hour to 40-minute bus ride from our house. A bus from our house goes directly to the college, and same if we went to Ottawa University, it would be one bus. It's where my daughter did the choir, so it's about an hour, 51 minutes technically from our house there to like one stop, and then you'd have to find where your thing is. Carleton University is two buses, or the bus and the O train. So we have a subway. Um, above ground subway train that goes there, and that's about an hour. So would they, and we told them, like, if they lived at home, if they went to school and they lived at home, they wouldn't have to necessarily pay rent. If they don't go to school, they will have to pay. They have to get a job and they have to pay rent. And we'll help pay for part of their schooling. We haven't quite figured it out of how we're going to do that. Like, we have some money put aside, but when I was in school, a lot of parents paid for their kids' school, and their first year they like partied and like wasted it, which I don't want. My kids, I don't think would be kind of like that. My youngest maybe, but they wouldn't really be like that. But we want to do it that either they pay half and then we pay half, or they pay the first semester, we pay the second semester type thing. Well, exactly, and we want them to get their own student loan. So here they just started new things of with Ontario. There's a new thing that just started like literally January, where you could apply for OSAP, which is Ontario Student Application Program, or I don't know what the A is for. I think it's application program. And some of your OSAP is loans, which you have to pay back, and some of it's grants. So grants you don't have to pay back. So if you get like a $20,000 OSAP, 15 of that, say, is grants. So you don't have to pay that back, and you don't have to pay back five. Um, Depending on your income. I have zero. Awesome. I had I had $30,000 for my program because I moved out on my own, and I was in school. I did well. The first year and a half of one program, I was at home. It didn't really work out because where my campus was and where I lived, it was like an hour and a half. So it was hard to do. Plus, I was working. So I did one program a year and a half. That didn't work out, so I switched programs. I did 2 years in another program. So that's why I had about $30,000 in loans. Yeah, it's important if they help, so they'll get a free pass. Yes, you got grants. Associates. What's okay? See, we don't have. I don't necessarily understand the associates. So you go to college here. You get a diploma, either a 2 year diploma or a 3 year diploma, depending on the um, program, because some are 3 years. University, you get a bachelor degree, and it's usually a 3 year program, sometimes a 4 year program. And then you get master's degree, which is after your bachelor's. Associates is 2 years. So associates, so that would be like college. But it took you four. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so associates, I guess, degree would be like our college, either 2 or 3 year program. So college is more for um, hands-on type of jobs, or in general, some of the lower paying jobs. So healthcare is diploma, except for nursing. You can get your RN and you can get your nursing diploma, but then you can go up to university and pay do 1 year or 1.5 years and get your RN, registered nurse, or RPN, registered practical nurse. In my defense, I was home helping take care of my drunk dad in sick. Nothing wrong with that. Because I hear you. Like, my mom died when I was in school, so I got to have a week off school. That's what I got. They were at least lenient on me handing in assignments shortly after my mom's death because she died in October. So smack dab into the middle. Mine too. So I dropped out for a while. I knew if I dropped out, I would not go back. um, so like the healthcare is college, except for like doctorate. You go doctorate university. Um, the culinary skills college, um, graphic design, construction, mechanical engineering, technology. So that's like the not the technicians. The technology are college. The engineers are university. But you can get accounting and all that stuff at college level or at university. I don't need my degree for my job. I have it, but well, exactly. It's having that piece of paper. If you ever do lose your job, because job security, especially from what I've read in the states, is very there is not such. Like here in Canada, also in the private sector, job security is not good. Like all my friends that have jobs in the private sector, they've worked 3 or 4 places in the past 15 years. My friends who've gone in with the government, though, they're still in the government. The government is the one of the only few places that your career and they've changed departments or whatever. Like you can move up in the government, move sideways, whatever. Um, Everybody I know that's gone into the government, and now like one of my friends worked in the private sector the past 15, 20 years, is now looking at getting into the government because they think that their current job, their current business that they're working for, their infrastructure is looking shady, that it's looking like it's going to go bankrupt in the next couple of years because it's not producing what it should be. So she's looking at getting into the government. At least before, oh, well, before your current administration. Like for here, government jobs are government jobs. It doesn't matter of who is in charge of the country. There's still going to be those same government jobs. Um, Depending on who's in charge of the country, some have more growth, like there'll be more hirings and that, and more funding for certain things. Well, other times there's a hiring freeze and you know cut in spending. But here it's really hard to fire people in the government. They could be relocated to a different department at the same pay, but getting fired, it's just get reallocated. So somebody's saying like friends in the military, like they're funding from the government, so they're like, well, when the liberals are in party, they're more spending. When they're there, that's when they go and ask for money for um, new equipment, you know, for expansion of that. When the conservatives are in power, they're asking for more um, training, more infrastructure type stuff. So they like it when it's one goes in power, one goes out of power, so that every 4 years or whatever, they work it out. Like right now, in Ontario, we're going to be having another election. And I don't like either, like, I don't like Catherine Wynne, who's a liberal person. I tend to like liberals more, but I just don't like her and the things that she's done for Ontario. But I'm definitely not voting for conservative, which is the Ford guy, because um, unfortunately, I think he's taking a page out of your administration's book because he's being all like not nice and not liking. He said some things like questionable, like people with disabilities and stuff like that. Yes, I have to. I have to watch that. I so want to watch that. I don't think I don't have Hulu, but I can. I know that we can access. Maybe it's on. Is it on Netflix? Um, but so I might be voting NDP this year. Green Party. I would like to vote Green Party, but the Green Party, them getting into power, is like slim to none. So the NDP tends to be for the working class people, the blue collar people. Um, they're like the dreamers. I want the pink party. Yeah, I don't know if we have a pink party. See, liberals is red, PC is blue, Green Party is like environmental, and then the NDP is orange. It just came back, so I have no idea what politics. So in Ontario, we have to. But the problem in my area, Canada, we have all see. We're kind of trying to fight for Canada to be it's separate from the country, okay? Because right now, Canada and Stittsville are like growing. Like we have 90 some odd thousand people in Canada, and Stittsville has about the same. But we're also thrown in with a bunch of the country little towns like Kinburn and Mississippi Mills and stuff like that, where the farmers are all big about PC, right? Because the the the, the conservatives are all about supporting the farmers and helping with the farmers um, tax a thing of when natural disasters happen to the farm. There's like here in Canada we have a thing that they can get some payout for that, but they're all about like um, kind of like your Republicans in the states of like you know you have your land, you can do what you want type thing with it. So that's why they vote for them. Like there's the guy that's in our area has always been PC for as long as I know. But Canada, the people who work in Canada are almost all middle class um, citizens that are like blue collar jobs, maybe higher paying jobs, but the average, and we want more health care, more services, more, well, in the country, they don't got the services. So this is why we tend to vote from, it tends to be almost split down the middle because we want more services, more bus transportation stuff. Well, they're not getting bus transportation out to the country, you know? But we're still in the suburbs. We want more public services. We want more community centers, more things. So we've been fighting to have it split because what we want here in the suburbs are completely different views than what they want in the country. And it should be. Like, they don't want public sewer, like, and they're fighting the different things of the public sewer system and certain things, certain places shouldn't have septic systems. They should be plugged into the public sewer stuff. The split eventually, not before this election, but as Canada grows, they will put another MP like in our area for Ontario. While, like for example, Canada used to only have one local MP. Now we have two, so we have Canada South and Canada North. So, no fair. True, true. Um, just noticed my phone is about to die, so I think I'm gonna be stopping my uh, live stream here because it's going to die soon. But it's been wonderful chatting with you guys. Well, you have a great day, and hopefully you will go with me. I'm starting at the beginning of the video. I was talking about freezer cooking and like a pantry challenge, shelf cooking in June. So I'm hoping to use up a bunch of stuff and do videos on that and see how much of my stuff to be used. That's what's the beginning of my video. And we were discussing those things. So feel free to pop in at the beginning and to see what I was saying. But it's so nice chatting with you guys. Have a great day. Bye, Puppy's Breath. Bye, Amanda.